From the Frank Vic Chevrolet Studio NX. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to Time Out Over Time on the Time Out Over Time channel. I'm your host, Rick Arsenault. As usual, thanks to all who watch. I can't thank you enough. You'll never know how much I appreciate your viewership. But if you haven't done so yet, please, folks, get down there in that corner down there and smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you so much. As I said, Happy New Year. We got several things we've got to get out of the way here first before we talk about the Lions in the big game on Sunday. So let's get into it here. Trying to get you caught up in everything that's transpired in the last couple of days. Michigan basketball, they play Saturday night in LA when they take on USC. They go into the game with an overall record of 10-3, 2-0 in the Big Ten as we begin primarily the Big Ten season now once the first hit here has gotten here. So Michigan plays, I don't know what time that game is Saturday night. Let's check on that. Sorry, I should have looked at that before I came in. Michigan State Spartans are 11-2, and they've got a big game tomorrow night in Columbus. I think that starts at 9 tomorrow night against the Ohio State Buckeyes. As I said, we get into pretty much exclusively now Big Ten play, conference play. There might be an occasional non-conference game stuck in there in between, but primarily from now until the end of the season, they're playing in the Big Ten. Red Wings are in Columbus tonight to take on the Blue Jackets. Wings are 15, 18, and 4. Third from last in the Atlantic Division. They've got 34 points. They're taking on the Blue Jackets tonight. Columbus going for the third win in a row under their new coach, Todd McClellan. I think it's a 7 o'clock start tonight. You watch it on FanDuel if you get it. Pistons. Big win last night over Orlando, but boy, this injury to Jaden Ivey. I'm not going to be too descriptive about it. It was hard to watch. It still is. What a great young man. He was having his best season ever. What can you say? He's only 22. He's got a broken fibula. The thing that he has in his favor is he's very young and he will heal. The surgery right after the game was successful. He will be reevaluated in about 4 weeks. He's likely done for the season. If by some chance the Pistons would sneak into the playoffs, he could possibly be available for that, but that's a long way off. You just feel so bad for the young man. Boy, as everybody did at the arena last night. So unfortunate. Our Detroit sports teams is snake bit when it comes to injuries like this. Kate Cunningham, finally, cross your fingers. I hope I don't jinx him. He's finally had a season now where he's been able to stay healthy. He was the NBA player of the week last week. He just barely missed out getting it again this week. I think under the guidance of the Picker staff, I think the Pistons are doing very well this year. They've got 15 wins. That's more than they won all last year. They're 15 and 18 now. And they're playing Charlotte tomorrow night at Little Caesars. A real downer. You hate to see something like what happened to Ivey last night, but going for a loose ball, and boy, devastating. But like I said, the thing he has in his favor, he's young. He will heal just like Aiden Hutchinson will and has. I think it was, if anything, there's such a thing as a clean break. I'm not a doctor, but I think that makes a difference too. So anyway, Pistons going to the game at Little Caesars tomorrow night at Charlotte, 15 and 18. Uh, Somebody's going to have to next man up, I guess, the attitude that they're going to have to take on that. But we're going to miss Ivey. It was just last week that he made the game-winning shot in Sacramento last week on a 4-point play. But just coming into his own, he had improved on his 3-point shooting. That's a shame. And say a prayer for him that he heals properly and everything turns out all right. But keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you. Hit and miss stuff here. Anything else? Oh, it's official, by the way. Saquon Barkley will not play Sunday. 16 yards away from Eric Dickerson's record. I hate to beat a dead horse. Even if he had played Sunday and broken the record, you have to put an asterisk next to his name. He will have accomplished that feat in 17 games. Dickerson did it in 16. I'd like to take nothing away from Barkley. He's had a phenomenal year, phenomenal season. You know, with the Giants, he was hurt a lot, and they don't have a very good offensive line there. Maybe that's part of the reason he was hurt a lot. Anyway, he's not playing Sunday, and of course, Hurts isn't playing Sunday either. So this will be what? He got hurt early in the game a couple of weeks ago against Washington, early in the first quarter. So essentially, he will have been gone out for about a month before the Eagles play another game here. So, wild card weekend, of course, is next Saturday and Sunday. We still don't know who's playing who yet, but then it'll all get ironed out Sunday night after the game, after the Vikings-Lions game. Before we go any further, let's do this. You know, winter's here. It's cold outside. And it's going to stay cold for a while. I don't see a whole lot of precipitation out there the next couple of weeks, but it's cold. Oh, it's cold. And you should have done so by now, but if you haven't done so yet, you got to make an appointment to get your car winterized, so to speak. Get it into the service department at Frank Beck Chevrolet and make an appointment to make sure that your vehicle is ready for the winter weather months ahead. You get in there and let them check the strength of your battery, your belts and hoses, your wiper blades, antifreeze, and more. And plus, now is the perfect time to get that new set of tires too, so you don't go slipping and sliding down the highway. And if you don't think your vehicle can make it through another rough Michigan winter, let the sales pros at Beck's help you find a vehicle for all seasons. The 2025s are rolling in nearly every day out of the lot right now, so their selection is tops. And you can check out their inventory on their webpage at frankbeckchevy.com, or better yet, stop by the dealership on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville and let them help you experience the Frank Beck difference. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Chevy drives Southern Michigan. And I'll drink to that. Okay. By the way, nothing new to report on the Tigers' pursuit of Alex Bregman. They might be the front runners, but that's still going to take a while yet. It could be we could be halfway through spring training in earlier mid-March before he signs with anybody yet. I think that both sides there with the Tigers and Bregman and Scott Boras, I think they have a Tigers would like to have Bregman. I think Bregman would like to be the everyday third baseman in Detroit, but there's a little problem of money involved here. How much money? That's money's the root of all evil, isn't it? That's the sticking point right here is the money. Maybe the years too, but more the money than the years. I think Bregman will be 31 when the season starts. Tigers have also been linked to former Baltimore outfielder and free agent Anthony Santander. Marvelous switch hitting outfielder. If the Tigers were to sign him, I don't know. He would have to be the everyday right fielder. And the Carpenter would probably go back to DHing most of the time. Anyway, but that's, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. I don't expect anything to develop there for a while yet. So I guess you could say no news is good news. Anyway, if you haven't heard, hang on a second. In case you haven't heard, just in case you haven't heard. There is a football game Sunday night on NBC, which will kick off at 8:20. And this, no question about it, this is the most significant regular season game, not just in Lions franchise history, but possibly in the history of the National Football League for a regular season game. Because of everything that's at stake here in this game. 2 14-2 teams. That means there's going to be a 14-win team that's going to be the 5th seed in a wild card. And they'll be on the road for the playoffs. It hardly seems fair, does it? Boy. And you'll probably never see anything like this ever again. I doubt that you will. Anyway, before we say any more about this game, we'll go back to Monday night Pro Football Focus. The grades are in for the Lions for their top 5 and bottom 5 players on both offense and defense. Offense, Lions top 5 players on offense according to Pro Football Focus. Jared Goff, 87.7. Jahmyr Gibbs, 87.2. Sam Laporta, 79.8. Graham Glasgow, 78.8. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, 78.5. Those are the top 5 on offense, bottom 5 on offense. Dan Skipper, 52.3. Brock Wright, 55.1. Kevin Zeitler, 56.4. Tim Patrick, 60.6. And Taylor Decker, 65.8. Top 5 ranked players on defense, according to Pro Football Focus. Amik Robertson, 82.1. Pat O'Connor, 78.0. Kirby Joseph, 76.6. Zadarius Smith, 74.2, and Ivey Melifonwu, 74.0. It's a little bit surprised to see Smith. Where was he Monday night? That's a relatively high ranking here. They got him the 4th best defensive ranked player at 64.2. I don't see that. Bottom 5 ranked players on defense. Al-Qaid Muhammad, 37.7. Ben Neiman, 39.0. Jalen Reeves-Maybin at 42.6. Trevor Nowatzki at 45.4. And DJ Reader at 51.3. By the way, speaking of DJ Reader, I don't think it's any surprise. Once Lee McNeil went down, DJ Reader's play has regressed pretty dramatically. I don't think it's any coincidence that he was when he had Lee McNeil, an elite defensive tackle, playing next to him. I think that made it easier for Reader. But since McNeil went down, he has not been a very productive player. So we'll see what happens. See what he does on Sunday. He got the lowest grade from Pro Football Focus on defense for Monday night at 51.3, and that is pretty low. Before we get into looking a little further at the Sunday night's game, Pro Bowl selections came out today. The Lions had 7. That's more than any other team. 5 on offense. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Frank Ragnow, and Penei Sewell. The other two on defense, Brian Branch and Jack Fox, the punter. Now, there's a name notably missing on this selection. That would be the fella that leads the NFL in interceptions right now, Kirby Joseph. Aaron Glenn, in his usual, every Thursday, the coordinators address the press. And Aaron Glenn this morning was asked about this. And he said he knows why Joseph was snubbed. That is because he's considered by his peers and coaches around the league as a dirty player because of what happened last year. He took out TJ Hawkinson with an ACL with a low tackle. Did the same thing to the Rams tight end, Taylor Bigbie. And, of course, after the game, it went viral. Matthew Stafford got in his face, threw a couple of expletives at him, called him a dirty player. So he's got a label on him right now. I don't think that's fair, but I think that's why he was snubbed. There were a couple other players, too, obvious selections that were selected. I think that's the main reason. Kirby Joseph did not make the Pro Bowl, not even as an alternate. I don't have any updates. All I can tell you right now about Alex Anzalone is he practiced today. There might be something coming out in the next couple of hours, but I won't be with you again until Monday. So you'll just have to monitor that, see what happens, see if there are any news coming out the next couple of days. Look, what this game comes down to Sunday is, if you don't know by now, I'll quickly recap. Both of these teams come in here 14-2. What's at stake here? Well, the winner obviously goes to 15-2. They win the NFC North Division, and they are the first seed in the National Football Conference. When it comes to playoffs, that means they will get a first-round bye, and that means they only have to win 2 home games, provided they win the first one, of course, in order to get to New Orleans and make the playoffs. Not make the playoffs, but to get to the Super Bowl. Got to think once. I'll get into that a little bit. Talk about this a little bit, then I'll have something to say about college football playoffs yesterday. But so that's what's at stake right now. The loser goes all the way down to the 5th seed, and they are they have to play 3 games all on the road. So, it's very plausible. Very plausible that if the Lions do win this game and they get a bye, in 2 weeks, their first playoff game at the Ford Field could very well be against these very Minnesota Vikings. In fact, that's a very real possibility. And on the other hand, too, if the Vikings were to win this game and they get the bye week, they could see the Lions in that first game at U.S. Bank. There are a lot of scenarios that could play out here. Look, we'll all know everything hasn't been etched in stone yet. This will all play out come Sunday night into Monday morning. We'll know who's playing who, when, why, or what, and all that. But last I looked, the Lions were 3-point favorites. What this game comes down to, I think, let's look at this a little further. Offensively, I give the Lions an edge at quarterback and on the offensive line. Defensively, because of all the guys that the Lions have out right now, I give the Vikings the edge on defense. I think what this comes down to is what defense can stop the opposing offense. Whether you can get them to punt or you get a turnover, whatever. One thing I know is if you're the Lions, it can't be like the Buffalo game. You can't get behind 14-0 and keep trying to catch up. That's not going to work. No, they did get behind 7-0 in San Francisco on Monday night. I think they could overcome 1 score, but if it would go to 2 scores, I think that's kind of an insurmountable feat against this Minnesota team. Final score, I've got the Lions 34, Vikings 28. How's that? Oh, we'll just have to wait and see. But this game is one for the ages. There's never been anything, you'll probably never see anything like this ever again. This is epic. It's an epic game. 14-2 teams, and there's so much at stake. The Lions are going to need the 12th man too on Sunday night. And the two, I don't make anything out of this. Apparently, the Lions are going to be wearing, and I haven't been able to confirm this, the all black uniforms with the blue helmets. You're only supposed to wear them twice a year. They've already done that. I don't know if they were to do that, if they have to pay a fine or what, and that they were going to paint the end zone black and the borders around the end zone, put black up there too, so the Lions uniforms will blend in with everything. I think Matthew Stafford was complaining about that earlier this season when the Lions all blue uniforms, he said, were blending in with the end zone and the backdrop. I don't know anything about that. I haven't been able to confirm that yet. Apparently, the Vikings are upset about it. They don't like it. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I haven't been able to confirm it, so we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know. I said they're only supposed to wear those twice a year. What happens? Do they have to pay a fine if they do that 3 times in 1 year? I don't know. I don't think about that. To me, that's trivial. And for the Vikings to get upset about it, I don't know about that. Anyway, let's do this, and then I'll give you a brief summary on what's going on in the college football playoffs. As you know by now, if you've been watching, I wouldn't be able to do this without the technical assistance of Tim Lindley, Lindley, at Quality PC in downtown Hillsdale, 37 Waldron Street. That's a couple hundred feet west of Howell, across from Fat Jack's Automotive. Any technical issues at all, this is the man you want to see right here. Tim Lindley, Quality PC, whatever it is. Computers, new or used. Maybe the computer you have now needs a little work done on it. Flat screen TV, mounting, programming. Maybe you're changing internet providers and you need that installed. Printers, new or used, anything at all. This is the guy you want to see. There's nobody else around here to see for any needs, technical issues, sales service at all. This is the guy right here. And we're so lucky to have him in our area here. 37 Waldron Street, downtown Hillsdale, 517-610-5372. Or like I said, better still get in there and see Tim at 37 Waldron Street. And when you do, tell him me and Miggy sent you, will you please? Briefly, college football playoffs. In a thriller yesterday, I think in double overtime, Texas defeated Arizona State. Penn State didn't have much problem with the Boise State, and Ohio State did a number on Oregon. The final team will be decided tonight when I think they just started that. Georgia and Notre Dame. So what do we got now? On January 9th, Penn State will play the winner of this Georgia Notre Dame game. On January 10th, Ohio State will play Texas, and then on January 20th, Monday, January 20th, will be the national championship game. By the way, too, it's 12 teams right now, and I know most of these games were stinkers, but don't be surprised if the next year or two, it won't happen next year, but in 2 years, I look for them to go from 12 teams to 16 teams in this playoff. Why? The more teams, the more games, the more money. That's all there is to that. If I covered everything, I think we have. Big game Sunday night. Go Lions. That's going to about do it for us. And by the way, remember one thing, too. Lions are 8-0 on the road. So if they were to lose this game and had to win 3 more road games to get to New Orleans, I wouldn't put it past them. I think it's doable. But let's face it, if anybody needs a bye week, it's the Lions. And obviously, you're in much better shape if all you have to do is win 2 home games provided you win the first one, of course, rather than go on the road and not have a bye for the next 3 weeks. We've got wild card weekend coming up next Saturday and Sunday, by the way. So tomorrow night's game, this is Thursday. Sunday night's game at Ford Field will be the last regular season game of the year. And let's hope the Lions come out on the winning side. That's going to do it for us. Don't forget the Timeout Show with Andy Brown every Saturday morning here locally from 9 to 10 on WCSR 92.1. I will talk to you again on Monday. We go back to our regular schedule next week of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So until then, please remember to treat each other with respect. Have a good rest of your evening. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year, everybody. So long.